It's Tracy, and I really didn't plan on filming this video today. But I was like, you know what? I was like, I want to get this out there because, oh my gosh. Okay, if you've watched my videos for more than 5 minutes, there's always like a little bit something off, like, there's like a hair on my camera lens or something, and it drives me nuts. And right now, like, my closet door is like mildly open, and I'm like, it's gonna really bother me, so I need to like get into this topic because it's driving me crazy. But I don't want to have to like get up, and I don't want to have to edit me. We're just gonna leave it there. It's not gonna bother me. We're gonna be fine. Okay, so, I really want to shoot this video discussion, and what's funny is I was thinking about it and how first Modern Masters came out in 2015. Was I making YouTube videos then? Nope, never mind. I would not have filmed a video about that. I could have realistically done one for Eternal Masters and kind of talked about a lot of, I'm fixing a pen right now that's sticking out. This is literally how, I don't want to use the word OCD because I hate when people say like, oh, it gives me OCD when you don't have OCD. Like, that really bothers me, so it's just driving me crazy. Pens are sticking out a little bit. Oh, that pen's clicked up. Okay. So anyways, I wanted to use discussion because there are a lot of people who, I feel like especially people who kind of just get into Magic, who kind of see like Modern Masters, Eternal Masters, these sort of cool sets that come out, and they're like, yo, that's really cool. I want to jump on that bandwagon. I want to get some cards because, hey, I could open up like a super awesome rare card and the pack is $10, but I open up like a $70 card and that's awesome. And, I kind of want to give like my 2 cents. And there are so many different perspectives of this because they've done, 2 Modern Masters as of now and 1 Eternal Masters. And so what I think they're going to try to do is they're kind of flip-flop them. So it's going to be like, 2017 we have Modern Masters, 2018 Eternal Masters, 2019 another Modern Masters, and we're just going to kind of go from there. But basically what these sets kind of do is, and how the packs are set up in case you weren't aware. And I mean, they could honestly change this, like, it's all up for fair game, but like, what they do is the packs are more expensive. Now, I think that it really depends on your game store and what they price them as. It depends on where you get them, like, some places, like, I think the MSRP for this set, Modern Masters 3, and what I'm talking about is the packs are currently $10. And basically the deal with them is they come typically 15 cards in them. However, you are guaranteed a foil in the pack. So that means that if you have a chance, if you say buy like a box or a case, you're going to get like probably a lot of foil rares and foil mythics. So let's take Eternal Masters that was last year, for example. Let's talk about the fact how Brainstorm, for the first time ever, I'm pretty sure, was printed for the first time ever in foil. The card originally was like $50 at the time. Like, if you opened it up, it was like $50. Now it's dropped down significantly. It's like, I think, $20 right now. But it was really crazy, and that sort of stuff gets people really excited because it's like, this is the first time this card has ever been printed in foil. Especially with something like, I feel like, I guess with Modern Masters too, a lot of those older cards, they're being reformatted, I guess. They have like the new borders and stuff, because a lot of the older ones, you can tell a card looks older. Everything's a little bit more streamlined, the fonts all look the same. And then again, a lot of these times, these cards, it's the first time they've ever been in foil. So that really, really excites people, and that's like, I'm not saying you shouldn't be excited. I think it's awesome. I just traded for a foil Brainstorm and I'm really excited about it. But basically, so the packs are $10. They come with 15 cards. So you get your guaranteed rare mythic. But then again, you have that slot, and that foil slot is what I feel like drives a lot of people into the set and gets them really interested in it because you're guaranteed a foil. But on the same token, let's talk about how get it, token, because there's tokens in the packs. Oh man, I'm so funny. Okay, so let's talk about how those packs, you're more likely to get like a common or an uncommon, which again, let's take like Brainstorm, for example. Brainstorm, not a very expensive card. Maybe it's like $1. It's at a uncommon level, but a lot of times those types of things, like say let's take Modern Masters. Like, what's a card I'm trying to think that's like an uncommon or something that's like really expensive, or like a common? Okay, let's just take Lightning Bolt, for example. Lightning Bolt, it's a very classic Modern card. It's being used in basically every burn build and things like Jund as well. So you look at that card and you're like, oh wow, that card's sweet. That card's like a $2 common. Or let's take Remand. I believe Remand was printed in the last Modern Masters, Modern Masters 2. Now Remand at the time, I don't remember how much it was, but say it was like $10, and then it got reprinted, and now it's like $5 or something. So basically, here's the deal with the set that a lot of people get really excited about is they're like, okay, the cards are gonna drop in price because let's say, you have these cards and they get reprinted, so there's more of them, so the price is gonna drop basically. Then you have a card, let's talk about a card like Tarmogoyf. Okay, Tarmogoyf has now been printed in the 2 Modern Masters sets, and it's still like, I don't know the price off like the complete top of my head, but it's still like $150. The price of it hasn't really dropped that much. And then there are people who open up like foil Tarmogoyfs. Oh man, those things are probably like $400. They're crazy. But anyways, so I think like that's people are like, oh, like it's gonna drive the price. But here's the deal, and here's what I feel like happened with Eternal Masters, and we'll kind of see if this is gonna happen for Modern Masters, is there was such a limited print run of it that I feel like a lot of people couldn't really get their hands on it. So it's like, oh great, like we're producing these things, we're going to drop the prices of stuff, this is awesome, which I'm not saying that it never does that because yes, cards do drop in price once they're reprinted. But again, case in point, you have a thing like Tarmogoyf where the price really hasn't dropped that much. Yeah, so I don't know, it makes me sad too. And one argument that a lot of people say, and I completely understand why this frustrates them. Okay, so let's take it how you buy a box. The boxes are like, they always jump in price. Honestly, like they always up them like $5 or whatever. The boxes have 24 packs in them, not 36. So typically if you get like a 36 pack of Shadows over Innistrad, say when it just comes out. That was the first set that came to my mind. I don't know. I just really love Innistrad. The place is great. So, Shadows over Innistrad, when this thing comes out, say it's like $120. You can usually find it for like $20 less. And a lot of times, depending on what the price is of the set, you can find those boxes for like, I've seen them as like $80, $90, $100, they usually a little bit less after they come out, depending on what's in the set. If you have a set like, let's take Worldwake, for example. Worldwake, it's a pretty small set. Also had like Jace the Mind Sculptor in there. Really, really big card. Those things would be more expensive. But like your typical thing that doesn't have like any super dumb cards that are like in Eternal formats, such as Modern and such as Legacy, your boxes aren't going to be as much. So these for something like Modern Masters, Eternal Masters, your boxes, your cases, they're going to be expensive. They're going to be like usually double that. I feel like they're like somewhere of like $200, $250, something like that. Again, the price of it I feel like always changes and stuff like that. And even like the MSRP packs, like this one said 10, but I don't remember. And at least for me, I know in different areas the packs cost different amounts. Like I feel like I've seen some people who are like, my local game store was 15, some were 10. Like it just totally depends, I think, on where you are and what your game store, like what they're charging for their packs. And I think one of the things that I think like attracts a lot of people to this type of thing is they're like, well, if I get, say, like a box, I'm going to get cards that I can use for to build my, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what's like a good, I'm trying to think of like what's been in like past sets. I keep thinking of Lightning Bolts and I know it's not really like a good example. Alright, let's just take Remand for example. No, that's a bad example. Let me think of like, okay, Tarmogoyf, that's a really good one. Let's say you're someone and you're like, I want to build Jund in Modern. Okay, so let's say that this theoretical thing, a lot of people speculate that Tarmogoyf's going to be in it because I personally think it's going to be in like forever, every single future Modern Masters. I just think that Tarmogoyf's just a staple that it's going to have in there. And you're like, yo fam, let's look at this. Let's just say theoretically the box is 200, I feel like 250 is low. Why do I feel like that's low? I'm sorry, I don't have a computer here so I can't check it. Let's just like say it's 250 just to make my life easier. Tarmogoyf right now, let's just say it's $200. I feel like I'm so messing up prices right now, so please do not like be like, Tracy, you messed up prices. Like, let's just chill. I don't know prices off the top of my head. So let's just say that Tarmogoyf's 250, your Tarmogoyf's 200, and your box is 250. You're like, well, dude, I'm opening up 24 packs. And not only do you have a rare mythic slot, you also have the foil slot. So you're like, well, so let's look at that. So 24, so typically you would look at that and you would say there's 24 rare or mythics. I think they say like 3 mythics per box. Maybe maybe that statistic is a little bit less. And I'm not talking about foils, I'm just talking about plain ones. Then you add in an additional 24 for how many in that foil slot. So you look at that and you say, okay, I've got like a 40 possible things that I could open, and they could be Tarmogoyfs. Seems pretty okay to me, right? Like, if I open up a Tarmogoyf and then I also open up like some other really, really expensive card that's like $50. Like, let's just say like Doubling Season was reprinted. Doubling Season right now is like $45. Say the price drops at the start of when it thinks it's like $40. Let's just say that. You're like, lit, man. If I open up like a Tarmogoyf and a Doubling Season, I'm totally making up Doubling Season. I don't know why I picked that. Doubling Season could actually use a reprint. That would be pretty solid. But I feel like it's an EDH card, so I feel like they wouldn't reprint that in here. But I don't know, I'm just talking out loud right now. So anyways, so those two cards are reprinted, and you're like, well, like, let's just look at that. If I open up both of those cards, and that's not including any foils, that's 240. And then with all those other commons and uncommons, and you're guaranteed to open up, like, at least a couple of things that equal that, I'm totally going to make the value of my box back. Then I think it totally depends on why are you opening up this box. Are you someone who's, I'm trying to build Jund in Modern, I'm really looking for those Tarmogoyfs, and let's just say Lightning Bolt is reprinted too. That would be pretty sweet. So you're like, okay, that. Or are you someone who's just opening up for the fun? And I know a lot of people talk about when you open up packs, what's the reason why are you opening it up? So if you're opening up the pack to try and gain value, you're playing the luck game. And you know what? Let's be real here. All of us have been super lucky and have opened up really stupid stuff in packs. Like, I don't even know what the coolest card I've opened up is. Let's try to think for a minute. It's been a really long time since I've opened up a pack of Magic cards. Like, I don't even know. What's the coolest thing Paul has super cool stories of things he's opened up. Like, I just don't have any cool stories about things. I'll get back to you on this. I really need to think about this because I do not know. Oh, okay, this was actually pretty cool. And this is really funny that I'm actually talking about this one Magic card because I did an entire video talking about, that was my video about the way of thinking, and I talked about how Jace Vryn's Prodigy makes me really mad because people told me I should run him in Grixis Control. Jace Vryn's Prodigy was actually one of the coolest cards I opened up because at the time it was like $60, and it was like pack one, pick one, and I was like, value, and I was like, slamming this card down, I'm taking that. Okay, train of thought, I don't even remember. Okay, yeah, so, like, you're opening up cards, and what are you doing it for? So, okay, say that's an example, that's the best case scenario, not like the best case scenario. Say you open up, like, a foil Tarmogoyf and a Tarmogoyf, and you see on YouTube, there's all these sweet people who are like, let's open up our box. And that's another thing with printings. There were so many issues with, and please don't quote me on this, I feel like it was Modern Masters 1 where there was a ton of issues, probably Modern Masters 2. If you're not aware of this, I would really look into it. There was a lot of issues with the way that things were being printed. So basically what happened is they used different, like, printers or whatever than their typical printers for whatever, the way that they usually do, like Shadows over Innistrad, like New Phyrexia, like all that stuff. Like, they used a different type of printer for Modern Masters cards, and I think that's why the cards feel a little bit different. Like, they have like a different material, which is kind of weird, and I think they're different foiling, like whatever. So basically, there was a lot of issues with prints where some people were getting, like, there's like this one video on YouTube where like this guy legitimately opens up like 6 Tarmogoyfs in one box. That's like nuts. Like, that should not happen. And then on the same token, there were some people who opened up boxes and they didn't get any rares and mythics. And let me tell you, if that was me, I would be furious. I would be so mad because you're guaranteed rares and mythics. And like, listen, I'm not saying they have to be good rares and mythics, but I'm still guaranteed rares or mythics. And, you know, it was a very, very frustrating thing, and a lot of people lost so much money. And I'm not saying that all the time you're going to gain money back, but like, that to me is very infuriating because it's like you're paying for something and then like you're not the stuff that's being advertised is not guaranteed. So now here's the deal, is say you're in that situation, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to contact Wizards? Are you supposed to contact your local game store where you bought it from and say, listen, hey, I know I opened up this up like 2 days ago, but I didn't get any rares and mythics. What are they supposed to do? It's not something that they can, because, you know, and it's not to call anyone out, but like, you realistically could just, you know, if, you know, take those rares and mythics and then hide them and be like, I didn't get any rares and mythics, you know what I mean? Which is like really awful. So there was a lot of issues with that. I think Modern Masters 2 picked it up a little bit better, I think, or maybe I'm flipping them and then Modern Masters 2 didn't go well. I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, it was a super frustrating thing, so I'm really hoping that they pick that up and make that happen. But anyways, okay, so my point that I was really trying to get at is, say you were trying to build Jund and you've got no cards for it and you're like, hey, let me get a box. It's not like you're gonna get 4 Tarmogoyfs for your deck. You may not even get 1 Tarmogoyf for your deck because the chance of like that happening is like so slim. I don't know math, so it's like low. But you're not guaranteed that. Even a card like, like Lightning Bolt. Let's just say that Lightning Bolt is reprinted. And I know Lightning Bolt's not a really expensive card, but it is like a Jund staple. So you want to play a set of Lightning Bolts. Lightning Bolts, is it now at uncommon level? Oh man. Oh gosh, it's been a really long time since I've looked at like anything related to Magic. I don't even know. I know in earlier printings it was considered common. Regardless, whatever. The chance of you opening up 4 of those is maybe like better, but like it's not like you're buying a box and you're gonna get a modern deck. Like, it's not like that. And I feel like that's what, I don't want to say like it frustrates, I guess it does, it probably does frustrate people that they want things to be laid out for them. Like, I think another thing is too, is like, you're gonna get bits and pieces of it. But it does drive the price down. I think it doesn't drive the price down, again, as much as people would like, which I completely understand. Because I really think what these sets try to do is make things more affordable, because Modern is a very expensive format. And it's really frustrating to me how, like, I think a lot of people look at it and say, I either have to build my own brew with cards that I already have, or I play, like, Burn, because Burn is one of the most affordable things that you can play. And that really frustrates me because, you know what, like, I understand not everyone wanting to play that deck. I didn't start out playing Burn, and I will probably never play that deck. Like, it's not a deck that I'm interested in. And it's definitely not a play style, not a deck that everyone wants to play. So, yeah, I think, I don't know if there's necessarily, like, a way to fix, I'm not talking about, like, the printing issues. I mean, those really shouldn't happen. I mean, that's just, like, that's very disappointing. But, what was I gonna say? Like, the ways to fix, I guess, the prices and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. It's like, I feel like, you know, it kind of makes me think of like Magic Online too, and I can't remember the name of the card off the top of my head right now, but there's a card that on Magic Online, it's like $100 for like no reason, and then like the print version, it's like $1. Like, it makes no sense. There's like, it's expensive for no reason. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there are kind of cards that like blow my mind that are expensive for like no reason, especially cards that like are not used in Eternal formats, like are not used in Legacy, or not used in Modern, or not used competitively, but like random EDH cards that are like just expensive, and I don't know, it's like weird, but I would really like to see them, and I know some people may say those EDH decks that they come out with, the Commander decks, are kind of like this, but I'd really love to see them do like EDH Masters. Like, I think that would be really interesting, like, just an idea, like, I'm, like, tossing out there, but I always think it would be interesting. Like, I do feel like Modern Masters and Eternal Masters, what I like about them is that they, even if you're someone who doesn't play this format, it's like now, okay, so I'm not going to, I'm not playing Modern. I don't know when I'm going to get back into Modern. And, you know, one of my friends may get a Modern Masters box, and I probably won't partake in the purchasing of it or whatever, but we may, like, do some drafting it with it or whatever, but even people, like, who don't play those formats, I think it's cool that you can still get these boxes, because like they still do offer you a lot of what was I gonna say? They offer you cards that you can use in those in formats. Like, they're gonna have cards in there that you can use in EDH and stuff like that, which I think is cool. Okay. Another thing I think is important with this whole thing that a lot of people say, and I mean, this is just general, I think, of just boxes in general. So, like, say, I was talking about that example that you could gain value. On the same token, you literally, and I've seen this happen, you could just get, like, dollar rares, and then all your foils could just be, like, you know, commons and uncommons. Like, there's probably guaranteed statistics and everything like that. But, you know, you could really just gain nothing from your box, but that's a surprise. And I think that's why a lot of people, like, a lot of people say singles are really just the way to go, because you, in a sense, save money, because you know exactly what you're getting. So say there's, like, this $10 card, and there's the $10, let's just say MSRP is for $10, like, and your game store's selling that. There's the $10 card from Modern Masters that you want, but then there's a pack. You're like, well, okay, like, the chance of you getting that one card that you need, I guess, is a little bit higher because you have that foil slot, so you could get in a foil, which is pretty cool, but the chance of you getting that is so slim. You're better off probably just buying the $10 pack. However, I don't judge. Opening up packs is so fun. Like, I personally think it's a great time. Like, I never judge anyone who's like, I like to open up packs. And funny story, actually, when I was in school, which is so weird to say that I graduated, but when I was in college, the guys I played with there actually didn't like people who bought singles, and I kept it very on the hush on the DL that I bought singles, because I thought they would think that I was really elitist. So I was just like, yeah, packs are great, like, you know, whatever. But I would see them and they would all the time, like, buy packs and lose value and things like that. But, like, again, like, do what you want. If you want to buy packs, go for it. But I think that there's there's a couple of misconceptions with Modern Masters that I think if you buy it, you're just going to get a Modern deck, and, like, that's not true, like, at all. It's also not too, like, when they build them, they have, like, they'll have, like, cards, like, that they know people are running in theirs. And then they have all these random cards that are like, yeah, people run this card in Modern, and, like, no one runs that card in Modern. It's like, why are we printing this kind of thing? Yeah, I think that, though, to really get this value out of it, I do really think that they could work on maybe printing cards that people really want, because these sets are different from regular sets, because a lot of times people buy these sets to legitimately help them with their Modern deck or with their Legacy deck, or for Eternal Masters, whatever. But people when they buy booster boxes for again, like Shadows of Inertia, Battle for Zendikar, you know, all of those sort of sets, they're buying those, I feel like, with a very different intention. They're buying those because they're drafting with those. I'm sure some people buy them with the intention of, like, playing Standard and, you know, using a lot of those cards for Standard and things like that, which I think is more easily accessible for that, because I feel like Standard, I feel like, I don't want to misspeak if I don't know what I'm saying. I was just going to say, like, I feel like they utilize a lot more commons and uncommons than something like Modern Masters does. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, though. I don't really know. But, yeah. I definitely think I would use your discretion before buying any of these sort of things. I think I would really look into these products, because I don't want, like, anyone frustrated when they're like, oh, man, like, this was a waste of money or whatever. I always look at it how it's really enjoyable. I don't get upset if I don't get anything good out of a pack. I'm like, okay, next time, you know, it's not really, like, a big deal to me. Absolutely, people could open up the jackpot and get some bank out of it, but, you know what, I think really the joy in this is opening it up. But, you know what, if you guys want me to do a video, you know, what's funny is I was looking out, and this is coming out in March, apparently, and I, like, didn't know that was a thing, which I thought was really weird, because usually I feel like it's in May. Maybe I misread that. Maybe it said May. I could have sworn it said March, though. So if you guys want me to do, a video maybe talking about is Modern Masters going to be worth it, I can also do that. I think that would be interesting to look at the set as an overview. Yeah, that was kind of, like, my thoughts on that. And, that's all I got. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.